Disclaimer: this video contains information published by the Department of Education in line with the MILC. I do not assert ownership on the material being used. This video will discuss Quarter 1, Module 1, Volume 1 of Science 5. This is all about matter, properties of materials. This will be done for week 1 and 2. Now let's start. How are you? To start, let me check how far you have known about matter. Don't worry, I only wanted to warm you up. If you got all, excellent. But if not, don't be disappointed. I promise you will get higher scores as you go along with the lessons in this module. Get an answer sheet to start. Have fun! Directions: choose the letter of the correct answer and write your answer on the separate sheet of paper. Number 1. What is matter? A. Everything around us. B. Anything that has mass and volume. C. Anything that has mass. D. Anything that has volume. Number 2. All the materials found in your home are blank. A. Useful. B. Harmful. C. Both A and B. D. None of the above. Number 3. A and blank is a chemical used to prevent the spread of harmful microorganisms in processed and packed foods. A. Additive. B. Medicine. C. Preservative. D. Pesticide. Four. This is used for cleaning wounds and bleaching. A. Alcohol. B. Muriatic acid. C. Hydrogen peroxide. D. Baking soda. 5. When is the material useful? A. Bring hazards. B. Bring harmful to your health, environment, and other organisms. C. Serve a purpose. D. None of the above. Number 6. Materials that are malleable are also known as A. Plastic. B. Flexible. C. Strong. D. Metals. Number 7. Rubber, glass, plastic, metal, rubber, and glass are examples of blank. A. Glasses. B. Tiny. C. Plastics. D. Materials. Number 8. Your father is cooking sinigang. Why do you think she added some salt in his dishes? A. To enhance the taste of food. B. To retard food spoilage. C. To add flavor to food. And D. To make the food delicious. 9. It helps to preserve the quality of the food and slow down spoilage to make food last longer. A. Preservatives. B. Additives. C. Condiments. D. Garnish. 10. It is a substance inhibits the growth and development of microorganisms. A. Antiseptic. B. Insecticide. C. Antibiotic. D. Pesticide. This time, try to self-check it using the answer key. Number 1. A. 2C, 3C, 4A, 5C, 6D, 7D, 8A, 9A, and 10A. You are doing great, my friend. If not, don't worry. This will guide you on our way all through our travel. Are you ready? Now let's start discussing Lesson 1, Matter, Properties of Materials, whether they are useful or harmful. Everything around us is matter. The soil, water, air. Matter has different properties that make them different from one another. Some types of matter have properties that make them materials for producing useful products. Other types have properties that make them harmful. Sometimes, matter also undergoes changes that affect their properties. In this module, you will learn how to identify the different properties of matter that can help us determine whether it is useful or harmful. Ready? Let's go! What's in? Let's first recall your previous lesson. Classify the different materials found in the word pool below as useful or harmful. Write your answers in a similar table below. Let's check your work. Useful materials are water, salt, toothbrush, raincoat, and floor mats. Harmful materials are the live electric wiring, scissors, pins, blades of fan, and needles. If you got it all, excellent! What is it? Oops! Let's take a look at this. This will guide us on our way all throughout our travel. Ready, get set, go! You use different materials for cleaning, cooking, eating, and repairing. The usefulness of a certain material depends on its properties. There are materials that are durable and therefore can be reused. Creative and inventive people still find other ways to use them. There are also materials that are made for certain purposes only and can be harmful when not used or disposed properly. In order to minimize waste in our own household, we have to know which materials are still useful and which ones should already be disposed. Before throwing away any material, you must first check if it can cause harm to living things and the environment. When is material useful? Materials are considered useful when it serve a purpose. These materials may have properties such as durability, resistance to water, heat or acid, flexibility, elasticity, and hardness. Some useful materials can also be reused. Take for example a container for any solid or liquid material. When it is already empty, it can still be used for other purposes. It can be used as a flower vase, a coin bank, or a house decor. Whether a bottle is made of plastic or glass, it has a property that makes it reusable. Here are some examples of useful materials. Let's talk about some of the materials on our discussion. Useful materials can be found at home, in school, and in the environment. Useful materials found at home. Number 1 is preservatives. Preservatives is a natural or synthetic ingredient that is added to products as food, pharmaceuticals, and personal care products to prevent spoilage, whether from microbial growth or undesirable chemical changes. The use of preservatives is essential in most products to prevent product damage caused by microorganisms and to protect the product from inadvertent contamination by the consumer during use. An ingredient that protects the product from the growth of microorganisms is called an antimicrobial. A preservative may also be added to a product to protect it against damage and degradation caused by exposure to oxygen, and in this instance, these ingredients are also called antioxidants. Without preservatives, cosmetic products, just like food, can become contaminated, leading to product spoilage and possibly irritation or infections. Microbial contamination of products, especially those used around the eyes and on the skin, can cause significant problems. Preservatives help prevent such problems. Food additives. These are substances added intentionally to foodstuffs to perform certain technological functions, for example, to color, to sweeten, or to help preserve foods. Antiseptic. This is a substance inhibits the growth and development of microorganisms. For practical purposes, antiseptics are routinely thought of as topical agents for application to skin, mucous membranes, and inanimate objects, although a formal definition includes agents which are used internally, such as the urinary tract antiseptics. Antiseptics are a diverse class of drugs which are applied to skin surfaces or mucous membranes for their anti-infective effects. These may be either bactericidal or bacteriostatic. Their uses include cleansing of skin and wound surfaces after injury, preparation of skin surfaces prior to injections or surgical procedures, and routine disinfection of the oral cavity as part of a program of oral hygiene. Antiseptics are also used for disinfection of inanimate objects including instruments and furniture surfaces. Insecticides. These are pesticides that are formulated to kill, harm, repel, or mitigate one or more species of insect. Insecticides work in different ways. Some insecticides disrupt the nervous system, whereas others may damage their exoskeleton, repel them, or control them by some other means. They can also be packaged in various forms including sprays, dusts, gels, and baits. Because of these factors, each insecticide can pose a different level of risk to non-target insects, people, pets, and the environment. Useful materials found in school. Fabric. Cloth or other material produced by weaving cotton, nylon, wool, silk, or other threads together. Fabrics are used for making things such as clothes, curtains, and sheets. Paper. Materials manufactured in thin sheets from the pulp of wood or other fibrous substances, used for writing, drawing, or printing on, or as wrapping material. Metals. Opaque lustrous natural elements are effective in conducting electricity and heat. The majority of metals used in everyday application are ductile and malleable, and are usually denser than other elemental substances. Metals such as platinum, gold, copper, and silver are found in pure forms, while alloys such as bronze and brass are made by heating two different kinds of metal together and then allowing the mixture to cool. For example, copper and tin are mixed to create bronze, and copper and zinc are used to make brass. By definition, an alloy is a solid material that is made from the mixing of two or more metals. Metals are naturally hard and can be shiny, rough, or dull in appearance. Glass. This is a ubiquitous material in modern life. It is used in windows, tableware, containers, jewelry, and of course much more. The most common type of glass and the type of glass bullseye manufacturers is called soda lime glass. Soda lime refers to the composition of the glass, which is primarily silica, soda or sodium carbonate, and lime or calcium oxide. But for our purposes, glass is a unique art-making material. It can be blown or it can be formed in a kiln in a process called kiln forming. Rubber. This refers to elastomeric compounds that consist of various monomer units forming polymers that are heat-cured or vulcanized. Polymers are long molecular chains that are connected together, cross-linked, to improve their toughness and resilience. There are two types of rubber, natural and synthetic. Natural rubber is an elastic polymeric substance made from latex of a tropical plant, and synthetic rubber is produced from the polymerization of oil byproducts. Rubber, whether natural or synthetic, is a great alternative to plastic and metal for applications that require a more elastic solution. Rubber also has waterproof, electrical insulating, and tearing-resistant properties. Some types of rubber are resistant to oil solvents and other chemicals. Plastic. Plastic is the general common term for a wide range of synthetic or semi-synthetic materials used in a huge and growing range of applications. Plastics are organic, the same as wood, paper, or wool. The raw materials for plastics production are natural products such as cellulose, coal, natural gas, salt, and of course crude oil. Plastics are today's and tomorrow's materials of choice because they make it possible to balance modern day needs with environmental concerns. The term plastic is derived from the Greek word plastikos, meaning fit for molding, and plastos, meaning molded. It refers to the material's malleability or plasticity during manufacture that allows it to be cast, pressed, or extruded into a variety of shapes, such as films, fibers, plates, tubes, bottles, boxes, and much more. Useful materials found in the environment. Bamboo. Bamboo is considered to be a renewable source because it is natural and it grows so fast. It has gained popularity all over the world, especially in the United States. Bamboo is first crushed and then the fibers are combed out and spun with cotton to create a very high quality towel. Bamboo is even used to make sheets, clothing, wooden floors, and in the near future, plywood. Bamboo has many uses and is a great renewable source. It can grow up to 3 feet a day and can nearly grow faster than it can be cut. When it is cut, there is no harm done to the environment. Repurposed wood. Reclaimed wood is another favorite resource. Simply, it's the use of old boards that were previously used on an old home or barn. Old windows are used as picture frames. Old doors and boards can be strengthened, reused, and repurposed. Using repurposed wood is called green building. It's important to the environment because fewer trees are cut down, less fuel is used, and less exhaust is released into the atmosphere. Using reclaimed wood also keeps it out of landfills. There are many structures such as old houses built in the 1800s which would otherwise wind up in the landfill. That's quite a bit of wood that can be reused as siding, floors, walls, and even decorations. Fabrics. Some other fun materials to reuse are fabrics. All sorts of things can be made from reused fabrics, like old jeans and t-shirts. The first and obvious use is to make a kilt or even some pillows. Other old materials can be sewn together to make tote bags, bracelets, plastic bag containers, stuffed materials for children, and even aprons. Reusing and repurposing old fabric saves tons of waste from going to the landfill, not to mention all the fun you can have creating all of these new and exciting projects. Plastic. Plastic is another material that can be recycled into many other useful and creative things. Some really creative people have come up with some new ways to use plastic bottles. For example, you can drill a hole in the bottom and stick the bottle over Christmas lights to make a new strand of party lights. Using different colors of bottles makes the light reflect in different ways. You can even turn them into bird feathers or use them as plant starters. When is a material harmful? Some useful materials may also bring hazards. For example, broken glass, jar can cause cuts or injury. When is a material harmful? Some useful materials may also bring hazards. For example, broken glass jar can cause cuts or injury. Toxic substances may also be present in the things you commonly use, such as paints, cleaners, fumes, gels, or powders. These materials may bring harm to your health, environment, and other organisms when not used properly. That's why you should take precautionary measures when and using different materials. The following are examples of harmful materials. Harmful materials found at home, in school, and in the environment. The term harmful materials is most often associated with things like chemical dumps, trains and tracks hauling dangerous cargo, and leaks of substances that force large-scale evacuations. But think about what you are keeping in your cupboards, medicine cabinets, garage, and basements, and you'll find your home, school, and environment are literally a warehouse full of harmful materials. From hairspray to bleach to household cleansers, It is essential to know the dangers posed by improper use and storage of hazardous products and treat them with caution. Generally, harmful materials are placed in four groups. Many fall under more than one category. The following symbols are often included on consumer products that are potentially harmful. These are the four classifications of harmful materials: flammable, explosive, corrosive, and poisonous. Flammable. Anything that poses a threat or fire during routine use is considered to be a flammable substance. Aerosol cans are among the most common items that can be lethal if used near a heat source or open flame. They should be kept away from children and stored far away from stoves, furnaces, and hot water heaters. Proper storage of fuels, such as gasoline and kerosene, is critical. They must be kept in containers designed specifically to hold them and to prevent dangerous spills and vapors from igniting. If possible, they should be stored outside the home in a shed or garage that can be locked to prevent children from accessing them. Whenever you use products that are flammable or give off flammable vapors, make sure you are in a well-ventilated area with easy access to an exit. Be careful about storage or use of cloths or rags. Be careful about storage or use of cloths or rags used to apply flammable liquids such as polishes, spot removers, and alcohol-based products. Never put saturated items in clothes dryer. It could be hot enough to ignite them. Explosive. The most common explosives found in households are propellants or fuels that are kept in pressurized containers. These include aerosol cans, propane tanks, and butane fillers for cigarette lighters. Certain substances that are safe when used alone can be extremely dangerous if mixed together. The chemical reaction of vinegar coupled with baking soda in a sealed container is a common example. Never dispose of potentially explosive materials into apartment building incinerators. If you detect the smell of natural gas in your home, or if you suspect there's a gas leak, leave the building and call the gas company immediately. Corrosive. Many household cleaning items such as oven and drain cleaners are hazardous to the skin and eyes and also to the environment. Read the label carefully. If the instructions call for rubber gloves, wear them. Some corrosives can give off harmful vapors, especially if they are mixed together. Many scrubbing and dishwashing detergents contain chlorine, bleach, and produce a toxic gas if put in contact with ammonia, lye, or acids. A corrosive can eat away an improper container. Styrofoam cups and some plastics are not appropriate for storage of paint thinners or other corrosives. Poisonous. The skull and crossbones signifies toxic materials that can release poisons in sufficient quantities to harm a person. Toxicity means the substance can enter the body by ingestion or eating, through the skin or into the lungs. Over time, or all at once, there can be a concentration of the toxin in the body. The material can even be beneficial, as is the case with drugs or medicine, but excessive amounts can cause injury or death. Again, reading the label or instructions that come with the product is essential. Remember that combining one substance with another can create a dangerous chemical reaction. Degree of danger, combined with the three symbols below the classification images, show the type and extent to which substance can be harmful. Danger, warning, and caution. More about product labels. Make sure that you read all the information. The label may tell you about precautions to take when using the product. It may outline the most common types of injuries that might result from improper use. A list of the active ingredients can help a healthcare provider or poison information center to treat the injury. Often, the label will provide proper ways to store and dispose of the product. Kindly read the table below, which contains some properties of materials. Now, it's your time to read what you have learned from this lesson. Read all the words aloud. Now, if you are done watching this video, you can now answer your activity sheets in science for week 1 and week 2. Congratulations, you are now done with our first learning competency. Now you can move on to the next.